Are you confident? Do you have consistency? How much conviction do you have? I'm Daniel Gomez, the Confidence Architect, a business strategist, keynote speaker, executive coach, and best selling author. On the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, we will help you unlock confidence to create consistency and develop conviction. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence. Welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, where we motivate you, we inspire you, and today we're going to encourage you. Today we have a special guest, a special gem, a beautiful human being that I met, Miss Liza Boubari. She's amazing, she's real, and I'll tell you what, when you hear her voice, when you hear her speak, you're going to hear her true heart, and she's going to add a lot of value. So let's welcome to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, Miss Liza Boubari. How you doing, Lisa?
Hello, Danielle. Awesome.
You know what? I'm excited to have you. I'm just was really looking forward to our conversation. I know the beautiful soul you are. Do me a favor. Introduce yourself to the Daniel Gomez Inspire Show, please.
Well, thank you for this introduction. My name is Liza Boubari, and by trade, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and stress management consultant specializing in women's wellness.
In women's wellness. That was
What would you like me to say?
No, that's awesome. I love it. You know, one thing that I really connected with you is you have a sincere heart. And what you do for a profession, you know, I met you at a book launch, and you were part of it was called, what was the name of the book that you were part of, the anthology?
The Powerful Female Immigrants. I'm part of the book one. They were doing the book two. So I brought the entire vision of how to put this book together and the women and everything, and he ran with it, and lo and behold, it's walking, and it's making an impact in the worlds of many women.
Well, I want to talk about the impact that you're making specifically on this episode, because I want to highlight you. You know, you're from Persia, and you've made a name, a brand for yourself. You know, so many times I hear here in America that are just excuses, right? They say something, we try to justify the results that we get. But you came in here, you're making I mean, you're just amazing. Why do you think so many people make excuses or just try to justify the results because of the inaction that they take on a daily basis?
I don't know if they justify it. Maybe we can say the unknown, not knowing. And well, actually, I am from Iran. We don't call it Persia anymore, but I am Persian Armenian. So being from Iran or any country that when people come to America, in their mind is the land of freedom and opportunities. Even though we know it here in this country, I call it, I'm an American because I've been here since I was 14 years old. Knowing it is different. It's like being in California or even Los Angeles and not going to Disneyland. And people from all over the world, they come, and the first thing they want to do is go to Disneyland. Why? Because it is a place of opportunities. It is a place of the magic. It's the magic world. But when you're inside the magic, it's like the gifts that we have. We don't really get to see our own negativities or even our gifts until someone highlights it. So I believe that's the opportunity that people from the outside get to say, I'm going to make the best out of it.
I love your analogy. That's so powerful. I never thought about it, but think about that, what you said, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the part of the show where I want you to get out your pen. I want you to get out your paper, because Ms. Boubari is going to drop some massive wisdom, some massive value. And we know this, we know what we always say here is, when you write down what you hear, you retain over 50% of the information. And I want you to take this information out because I want you to retain it, because she's going to drop some massive value. Think about what she said. How many of us, and I'm guilty of this, right? That when we were, I think I was 35 years old, we took our whole family. We spent thousands of dollars, probably like $6,000 we went to California theme park. We went to the Hollywood studios there in California, like Disney World. And people live there and they don't even go there. And the experience that you get. So ask yourself this question right now, ladies and gentlemen. What experience do I have in my backyard that I'm not even taking advantage of? What experience? Maybe you live in California, maybe you live in Florida, maybe you live in Texas where I live, but where experience do you have in your backyard close to you that you're not even giving yourself the opportunity to go and try it, to go and taste it, to go and experience it? And I think you're so right, Lisa, because so many people, life is all about experiences. The bigger the experiences we have, I don't believe. I want your perception on this is we have the opportunity to have some amazing experiences, like you just said with Disneyland, and experiences are what grow us. What can someone do, or what did you do personally? Share better yet, what did you do personally to make the most of your experiences to get you to where you're at today?
Well, I think the gist of this is we take so much for granted. Our health, even breathing, waking up. You want magic? When you open your eyes, that's the magic of the day. Being alive. Because we take so much for granted, being awake, our five senses, being present. And when you awaken at that very moment, and I know you're a man of God when we say, thank you, God. And it's like you've got your body, you've got your sound mind, you have a kind heart, and it can be more loving should you choose. So that in itself is becoming more aware of yourself and then taking court and saying, I appreciate where I am. And then coming to acceptance is, what do you want in your life that can make it just a tad better, kinder, happier, healthier, sweeter? And that's the choice, because every single day we have the power of choice. We can change anything at a given moment. And it can be from negative habits to our partners, to our residents, to our office. And sometimes we cling on to things thinking, I can't live without this. Well, a lot of people say, I can't live without this, but we do, we can. So stop taking yourself, your loved ones, and the things that you have earned for granted, especially the earning of each and every breath that you breathe, because you can hold your breath and say, I'm not here.
Wow, that was powerful. Think about what she just said, ladies and gentlemen. She dropped some massive value. What are you holding on to? Like I love just the visual you gave. You're holding on to it so tight.
Yeah.
Is it that bad habit? Is it that job that you're not happy about? Is it that toxic relationship with that boyfriend or that girlfriend that all they do is speak verbal abuse, right? Sometimes we don't realize that verbal abuse is worse than physical abuse. I don't condone either one of them, but I'm just saying the biggest lie that we've been told as kids is that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. And words hurt so much more sometimes than the physical aspect of it. So think about what Lisa just said, and what is it that you're holding on to? How does what I heard you say is right, the negative habits. In your experience, because you do a lot of high quality work, you're an amazing professional at what you do. I really mean, right, because I think we've all kind of gone through the struggles, and well, you grew up in Iran, so it might have been a little bit different, but here in America, the news is negative. Everything's negative. So we're conditioned as human beings from a child to focus on the negative. If someone wakes up every morning to really try to do good, because I've been there when I was younger, right? You want to work on the good dialogue, you want to work on the positivity, but those old negative thoughts come in, those old negative thoughts come up. How does someone, what are two steps that someone can take to start changing those negative habits, those negative thoughts into something that's really going to serve them in life, to really change that story to a positive one? How does someone go about that?
I'm so glad you asked that and said it, because your history is history, and you have the choice to change the story. We forget how much power we have in gratitude. And, a lot of people say daily affirmations. We give daily affirmations to my clients that they come, and when they sign up with me, a part of their package is daily affirmations they receive every single day. It's words that is to empower you, right? And when we talk about negative habits, I want you to know this, Daniel, even for your audience, sometimes our negative habits, we believe I cannot live without this because that negative habit is feeding or giving me something that makes me feel good. The smoker who smokes, yes, they know that it is negative, it is bad for the health, but while they're smoking, here's the verbiage I hear. It's like, I relax when I smoke. It gives me time for me to breathe. I have to take time to go and have 5 minutes to myself. You see, everything is for taking care of themselves, either knowingly or unknowingly, in reality or not. So it's the stories that we come up with. And how is that story making you feel better or impacting you in a better way? That's all I say. Is it helping you in a better way? So if something is no longer working for you, then it's time for you to step up, show up, and speak up for yourself. A lot of people have this misconception, but if I do that, it will be so selfish. And I'm like, no, wait, allow me to share this. Self-centered is bad. Selfish means I value myself as much as I value you. Self-centered means everybody do for me. So it's okay to be selfish.
In a good way. I love that. I've never heard it explained that way. So think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Where are you self-centered? I'm going to be totally transparent with you. Since I met you, I came back and I've had some coaching sessions and with my coach, Dr. Rob, and just some deeper issues, right? I truly believe as God elevates you to a higher level, he's going to prepare you, and the preparation is you either choose or not choose to deal with the deeper issues. Like you said, right? We have a choice. We either avoid the issues we got to deal with, or we deal with them so that way when we get to the next level, we don't self-sabotage and self-destruct. But most people would choose not to deal with the deeper issues. And something that there's two things you said today that really speak to me, because I didn't realize in some areas of my life I was still being self-centered. I didn't realize it in my marriage, and I didn't realize it in just relationships with people, that sometimes I said, like, right, I got to get in the habit of, well, you know what? How are you doing, Lisa? How are you doing today? How are you doing, honey? Instead of, what do you think about this for me, right? Sometimes that's a difference, right? When you're self-centered, the questions are directed towards, well, how do I look? How did this go? What do you think about me? Which it's okay to ask those, but if you're always doing that and you're never asking about the other, or concerned about the other person, that may be a good sign that there's some self-centeredness in you, correct? Because that was what I was doing. And then you said about the cigarette. I didn't realize this. We really had a couple of challenges that rose up since I met you here. It's going on 2.5 weeks already, but I didn't realize, and I'm just being totally honest, because I believe when there's transparency and you're vulnerable, people can really get healed from that, is that I didn't realize I was going to a glass of wine, not the cigarette, but I was coping, right? We cope with the cigarette, we cope with the glass of wine. And for me, sometimes that glass of wine leads to another glass of wine. And I know that that's not good, because as a coach, you got to be clear-headed. You don't want no fog. And when God exposed this to me, right, showed me this, like, hey, you're leaning on wine maybe more than you're leaning on me. I'm like, that's not possible, but it's true. So this is what I heard you say. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to ask this question, because she gave a powerful analogy of example of the cigarette and everything, how we know it's bad for us, but we still do it. Is, where are you comfortable in your struggles? So many times we get comfortable in our struggles, we get comfortable in our sufferings, but we're so content there that we don't see really the damage it's causing to us. I love the way you said that. What's your thoughts on that? That we get comfortable in our struggles, we get comfortable in our just
Pain.
in our pain. We tolerate the pain because it's not so bad. We tell ourselves like it's not so bad. Smoking isn't bad. And I'm not coming against cigarettes, but I'm speaking to myself too with the wine. But we make excuses, or we just say we kind of defend our own position in our own self-centeredness, like you said. Well, it's just one cigarette. I'm just 5 minutes to myself, but is there really just one cigarette? Or are you coping in a way you shouldn't cope? Are you drinking that glass of wine, Daniel, that leads to 2 glasses, and maybe you shouldn't have any glasses? And I had
And
to ask
here's the
myself these
key
hard
word.
questions.
Here's the key word, Daniel. I love your transparency. The word should in itself is a negative, because should, the word is very powerful in a negative way. Should I do this? Should I say this? Should I drink this? I should be on time. So in a way, should creates doubt in ourselves. Should also takes responsibility off of me and puts it on another. Should I? Expecting an answer. And if someone, let me give an example. I have a pint of ice cream. Daniel, should I eat this? Should I? Come
Probably
on.
not. Probably not.
It's either a yes or no. Help
No,
me.
you shouldn't.
And if I
Oh,
start having enough tantrum and crying and everything, you're going to give in, or you're going to say, you know what? Go ahead. Have it. And then I'm very happy. That's the negative habit, right? And I get so happy because it's a pint of ice cream and I eat it, and I finish and I am smiling. And then my body says, oh, I'm going to punish you for doing this. How dare you do this to me? I can understand a scoop of it, but not a pint of it. So blah, get sick, right? And then you're going to say, you ate the whole thing. And I'm going, well, I asked you, should I? And you said yes. Now it's not my responsibility. It's the court. It's in your court. I had nothing to do with it.
you have so
Right?
much wisdom, you know that? Like you're just like, boom, that's how I wanted. I was like, yeah, I want to highlight this young lady. Like you're just amazing, right? You're young in energy, you're young in vibrance, and you have a lot of wisdom. That's pretty strong though, the way you just described that, because I never thought of the word should as a negative word, but the way you said that, should I? Should I go? Should I not go? So if you're questioning yourself, maybe the answer is already no, because you already know that it's your way of saying that no, but you're trying to defend the fact that you know you shouldn't go. So instead of saying, well, I know I shouldn't go, should I go? So you're looking for someone to say yes, in a sense, for you. That way it gives you the green light. Well, it wasn't me. They said I should go. So instead of taking responsibility, you're passing the buck to somebody else because you said, should I go? And
Exactly.
whoever was validated what you were already gonna do, but now you have your excuse to say. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So instead of should, you can turn around and say, do I want to? Then becomes it's, do I want to? Do I want to go? Do I want to eat this? Because once I eat it, then the buck stops at me. I ate it. It's my responsibility. And I validated myself. I wanted it. I ate it. And I'm okay. And if I get sick, you know what? There is no pointing finger.
Wow. That's powerful right there. That's really, really strong. Do I want to? That's taking full responsibility. And I can tell you that there was some areas of my life that I didn't see it, but I wasn't taking full responsibility. And I think that if, as a human being, if you really take full responsibility, it builds up your confidence because you take ownership and you're like, you know what, I can do this. Yes. Instead of having a low self-esteem and low self-confidence. And well, let me pass this responsibility, this accountability to my coach, Ms. Boubari. And should I? Because really, I want you to take the fall with me in case I fall down, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. And that's where I come in. What is it that you want? I can help you get to where you want. It's not about me. You
What
know,
is the, go ahead, I'm sorry, I'll ask you
yeah,
my, go ahead.
therapy is not about you getting to where I want you to go. It's about me helping you achieve what you want. And if it is, as your shirt says, $1 million mind, because being a millionaire, I believe it starts with a mindset. And everything that we do is a mindset. So I can turn around and say, I have $1 million heart. And how's that helping me do all the travels and everything else, right? It's great to have a golden heart and $1 million heart, but if I want to do the things that I want, then my bank account has to match it in a way.
Yes.
So it takes a mindset, and it's the same as because I specialize in domestic abuse consulting. And as a consultant, when someone comes and they are overweight and they can't lose the weight and they do this constant yo-yo, that's one of the courses in my book. It says stand up to slim down. So what does that mean? It's stand up for who you are. Stand up to believe in yourself. And when your self-esteem is, we rise, we bring your self-esteem, not the confidence. Confidence is for outside, for others. Self-esteem is your own self-worth, knowing that you believe in yourself and you like yourself and you know you're good enough. Then all that extra weight you placed upon yourself that has been weighing you down, you can turn around and say, I'm ready to drop it. It's a mindset. So what I do is help people evoke what was, which is the past. We bring it to surface so that they can embrace right now what is the reality in order to evolve to what it is that they want. That's it.
Powerful, right? You discover the past to, right? You uncover it.
Uncover.
You uncover, discover, and then you just discard it.
Very
I
nice.
love it. You
Yeah.
uncover it, you discover the issue, and then you discard it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
What is it, what, just in your profession, because you deal with a lot of high level people. What's the one main just obstacle that you see that kind of always comes up, and how do we kind of overcome that, right? Because if people are coming to you with this problem that needs to be solved by you, and what is it, and then how do you help them through it? Because I think a lot of listeners may be going through that, because we deal a lot too with business people and entrepreneurship, and we kind of run in the same parallel groups and stuff. What is one of the biggest things that you help your clients with?
I think we can sum it up in they come in feeling lost. It's as if I had it, now I don't. Inner peace is not there because there's like always catching up, either to the Joneses or to this one, expectations. They can't catch up with somebody else's expectations. And then they put so much more expectations upon themselves. I have to. And then it's like, I'm overwhelmed, undervalued. And that feeling of I am not being appreciated, I'm not being seen, I'm not being heard, creates a sense of anxiety. And when we feel anxiety because of the stress of putting all that upon ourselves, then anxiety, when a lot of say, it's like it comes, it creeps up there. Well, anxiety is internal. It doesn't come from the outside. It's what we feel that starts percolating up until we are ready to voice it and express it instead of suppressing it. So we suppress with negative habits. We express with positivity, with the things we do, things that we do in a more loving and kinder way. So I help them.
So what's right there? I don't want to miss that because you just said it. You just said something. You said a gem right there.
Yeah.
When it surfaces to the level, we usually suppress it with a negative habit. What are some of those habits that we suppress it and we don't allow to deal with it? I love the way you said that, right? We suppress with the negative habits, but we express in positivity. What are some of those
Negative ings.
negative things? What do you call them?
Ings.
Negative
ING.
ings. Negative ings,
Okay.
yes.
The negative ings could be smoking, cheating, drinking, gambling. Those are the
Wow.
negative. Eating, overeating, anything that it's done overly, or those are the negative ings. Although they feel good, it's a negative ing.
So could work fall in this kind of same
Workaholics,
workaholic? Yes.
working 18
Yes.
hours a day. Yeah, because
Yes.
what you're saying is, I'm busy at work. I have no time for you. I'm busy at work producing. I'm busy at work. So it's being busy at work. Work is the excuse. What are you being busy with? And if you say, I'm here to produce and make money and everything efficiently, efficiently does not take 18 hours.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I believe that those who work 18 hours, it's either a survival or an escape.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
they have
have
it.
to work 18 hours to make ends meet and survive, or I'm running away from something and I rather be here than be vulnerable or be at home or be loved or be loving.
Wow. I've never heard it put that way, but I definitely agree with you on that. That when someone is working 18 hours, they're definitely either hiding from something or staying away from an issue they need to resolve. Or right, one thing that I've seen with one of my clients is right, the imposter syndrome, the fact that they don't feel their work's good enough, so they're always trying to overachieve to show the people, hey, I'm the right guy for the job, I'm the right woman for the job. So they overwork just to show people that, hey, I'm always at the office. I'm giving you 120%, right? So I'm putting forth the effort. They're trying to prove themselves to say. But I
And
love
they
I
prove
love
it for somebody else to be seen and heard by somebody else
yes,
while they are dissing themselves.
yes. Because they don't feel they're good enough. Wow.
Or when am I going to be good enough? After 18 hours, maybe 18 and a half hours?
I love what you said, right? So it's coming up that the emotions coming up.
Percolating.
When it's percolating, what is percolating? Because I love you're showing so much wisdom. I love the way you're giving us simple terminologies. I don't like those gurus that use these big words and doesn't do us any good because it's over the head. When something percolates, what are some of those emotions, or what is something that arises when it's there and we suppress it? What are two things that come up when it's percolating?
Well, I believe everyone is different
Yeah.
and unique to their own thoughts and feelings. But self-doubt is so prevalent. And when we talk about, am I good enough? Am I rich enough? Am I kind enough? Am I giving enough time to my family? Do my children love me? Did I spend enough time? Or did I buy the right thing for them? So the feeling is self-doubt and questioning ourselves. And if we come from, I matter, and because I matter, I see you and you matter. And because you feel you matter, we see each other.
Mm.
And when we see each other, we recognize why we are looking at each other.
Wow. That's
We
strong word.
forget to look at the person we love. And the first person that we have a hard time looking at, and I'm not saying it in a outside brushing, looking at the beauty of it, is the soul of the person in the mirror. Because we all have a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, an 11-year-old, a 17-year-old that somewhere, somehow has been damaged, has been hurt. And if we are not saying thank you, or I validate you, the one within, and that's where the healing starts, is within. Some call it the inner child. I like to call it the inner self. Because you may be perfectly doing fine until you are, I don't know, 27, and something happens at 27. So it's the inner self. When we come to validate and look in the eyes of the inner self and say,
Wow. So I love what you're talking about, because this is exactly what people need to understand, is that as we have a certain level of success, and you reference, right? Yeah, if you're going to have $1 million heart, your bank account has to kind of reflect that. And what I've seen is when people reach a certain level of success, that imposter syndrome, that they're not validating themselves, or they're right, they start to self-sabotage themselves. And it's usually because of that inner child, that inner self that's wounded, that they've never, that 10-year-old version of themselves, that 12-year-old version of themselves, that 17-year-old, whatever it may be, right? They never dealt with that, right? They know between right and wrong instinctively. They know that because they've heard it somewhere, but they still make the decision as that inner self that's damaged instead of the right or wrong, because that's the environment they were in. What's an exercise that somebody can do, Ms. Boubari, that can help heal that? What's an exercise, an action step that someone can take from this episode and say, I need help, right? Everything that she's saying, it's speaking to me. What's one thing that, besides, of course, we're going to get your information, that way they can reach out to you, but what is something that they can start to implement, say, tonight or tomorrow right away?
that every day in every way, I come to accept and appreciate myself for who I am. And if that becomes your daily mantra, prayer, affirmation, it's the best thing. Every step you take, turn around and say this to yourself. And take 10 minutes a day, go around the block, go down the street and walk back. Take that 10 minutes for yourself and walk outside of your regular day-to-day environment and just be present. Not with this, not with earphones, just be walking on Mother Earth and be grateful you can walk. And that you are walking on either asphalt, bricks, grass, whatever it is. Validate what you're walking on, because underneath that layer is the earth. Underneath that, it goes deeper and deeper, understanding you are a Mother Earth that is revolving, it's moving, and yet you are not. We are very much solid. We don't even feel anything. So that gratefulness that I can stand up, I can walk. Thank you to my knees that I can bend. Thank you to my toes that I can wiggle. Hopefully we all have our toes in place. That I can have hands that I can control, grip, hold, let go. That I can have eyes that I can see beyond what is. And my loving heart that pumps oxygenated blood, and yet I can feel. And today is what I am grateful for. And when you do that 10-minute walk and come back, you walk in and saying, I'm ready to move forward one step at a time, accepting and appreciating myself for who I am today, just for today. And every single day, say that just for today, and watch your just for today's adds up for how many days, weeks, months until the end of the year. And come the first of the year, you turn around and say, what do I want for today?
Wow. Boom, baby. Set us that mantra one more time. Every day in every way. Say it again. What's that mantra you want us to learn?
You know how we do a pledge to the allegiance?
Yes.
A
Let's do it.
pledge?
I'll do it.
Would you do it with me? Okay.
Yes.
Say, I pledge allegiance
I pledge allegiance
to accept
and
appreciate myself
appreciate myself
far more deeply
forward deeply,
far more deeply than ever before.
Today,
I say yes to me.
I say yes to me.
I matter.
I matter.
Just for today.
Just for today. Boom. I love that. I love that. You're a blessing. You know that? As we come to the end of this amazing show, I don't even want to end it. What is a scripture or a quote that you rely on in your times of adversity? A scripture or a quote that you rely on in times of adversity?
Well, it's one of my own quotes, and this is my own quote. I write poetry, and I say, our eyes are not only to see, but to project what we witness.
Say that again if you don't mind. I love that.
Our eyes is not only for us to see, but to project what we witness. We witness so many things every day, experiences, feelings, everything from Mother Earth, nature, things, color, texture. We witness so much. And there's only so much we see. That means we capture more than what we see. And if you start having your eyes open to see more and be more conscious and be more aware, you are 10 times far greater in being present with yourself than ever before.
Wow. If someone wants to work with you or get a hold of you, how do they do that?
LizaBoubari.com, or they can always contact healwithin.com. And may I give a gift?
Yes, for all means, we can put it in the show notes. Yes, ma'am.
Your audience may get a gift from me by texting relax to 818-221-2797. And I'll be more than happy to gift them an audio recording with my voice for them to relax for half an hour. It is a self-hypnosis in the comfort of their home or where they want to be. And you can easily just go into your own realm and tap into your subconscious so you can relax for the day.
Love it. I love it. We're going to put that in the show notes. So you got to send me out all that information with your bio.
Of course,
so we'll put that in the show notes. Wow.
It would be my honor.
Woo, so many nuggets I took away just talking to you. I need to go back and listen to this episode 2 or 3 times myself. But ladies and gentlemen, listen to what Lisa said today and go back and listen to this episode again and really listen to it like you're going to teach it, to absorb all the wisdom that she shared. And I think for me, right, is what something that stood out is there's a difference between being self-centered and selfish. Learn what the difference is. There's a positive selfishness because you got to self-care, you got to take care of yourself. But if everything is, what about me? What about me? What about me? That's being self-centered. And that part really spoke to me. And the other part that spoke to me is, right, when it starts percolating, how do you suppress it? Through eating, through smoking. For me, it was a glass of wine. So think about, what are your coping mechanisms? That ain't healthy. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Wow, Lisa, just thank you. You're just a blessing. And woo, that's the episode for today. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're stuck in life, if you're stuck in business, go to danielgomezglobal.com. That's danielgomezglobal.com. Do our entrepreneurs assessment there. We want to give you a free assessment and our complimentary 45-minute discovery session, completely free to you, to help you get your life and business on track And go to our website, themakingsofaMillionaireMind.com. That's themakingsofaMillionaireMind.com. Get our autographed copy of our book. Get our online program, 27 powerful modules. It's helped thousands of people already. And then our live boot camp, we're having our next one May 26th and 27th here in a couple of weeks in San Antonio, Texas. We'd love to have you here. Our next one's going to be November 17th and 18th. So don't miss our boot camp. Hundreds of lives have been impacted. We want to impact your life. Until next week, we'll see you here again with another amazing guest. And once again, thank you to our amazing guest, Ms. Boubari. Thank you so much. You're a rock star. We love you. And we'll see you next week on the Daniel Gomez Inspires Show.
This is Daniel Gomez, and thank you so much for tuning into our show today. We'd love your feedback. Please drop us a comment, and thank you for leaving us a review. Don't forget to subscribe to our show and share this episode with a friend. And my free gift for listening to our show today is a copy of my best-selling book, You Were Born to Fly. To get your free copy, go to DanielGomezInspires.com and get your copy today. That's DanielGomezInspires.com. And to elevate your life and business even more, follow me on social media at Daniel Gomez Inspires on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Together, we will discover the key that unlocks your confidence.